On the afternoon of September the 20th into the morning of September the 29th, Storm Matthew passed over St. Lucia. As a result, there were extensive damages to the agricultural sector, more particularly with the banana sector, where there was a lot of toppling over and breaking of pseudostems of banana trees due to wind, I should say. As a result, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia's, Honourable Chastanet, in an endeavour to understand the extent of his damages and to understand the plight of the farmers, sought to have a field tour, or what I call a damage assessment, where first-hand experience can be seen as to what exactly the farmers suffer on the ground. On the 1st of October, that's Saturday the 1st of October, the Prime Minister led a team to do some damage assessment and to have a first-hand experience as to what exactly the damage is on the ground. As we toured, we looked at the Prowler community, where there was an issue with a particular drain and canal was blocked with debris deposited by the river or the stream, and this debris blocked this canal, and there was a backlogging of water that resulted in extensive flooding in the area there. Right in the Prowler community also, we saw that there were some plantain fields where the wind damage did a lot of toppling over and breaking of the pseudostems of the plantain trees. We sought to look at what are some of the solutions to some of these issues, and what sort of resilience the agriculture sector can have or do in preparation for future storms like that. We also went into the community of Love and Jail, where there was a small land slippage to the side of the road. This land slippage was deemed as one that would need some urgent attention to prevent any further depleting of this road, since it's a main road next to a farmer's holding. We also went to the Forest State Estate. At Forest State Estate, we saw some flooding, where again you have rivers being blocked by debris that the river picked up along its sides and deposited it and caused to block all the drains and block the main river. And all this water backlogged into the farmer's holding. As the river passed over the farmer's holding, there's a total removal of the topsoil and the deposit of extensive amounts of river sand. So the topsoil was kind of removed, and then river sand was replaced it. We were looking at also what can be done to solve some of these issues. In discussion with some of the farmers and technicians on field, it was said that the mouth of the river also had a part to play in that. So we sought to take a tour to the mouth of the river, where we noticed that, yes, again, the same thing happened. You have where the river brought a lot of debris to the mouth of the river and silt that blocked the river, and then you had this backfilling of water again that came and flooded the banana plants in those areas. This backfilling also it was enforced by wind damages, as we also saw a lot of toppling over again and breaking of pseudostems of banana trees in the area. And there was a lot of banana farmers in that particular community. We also went to the Mamuku estate area, where we had you had a low-lying bridge, where again you had a river that dropped deposited a lot of debris and pieces of wood and stuff, and deposited right at the bottom of the bridge, that again blocked the water, and the same thing happened where the water backlogged again into the agrarian community. Discussions ensued as to the importance to have more bridges that are arched instead of low-lying bridges, and the importance of having arched bridges so the water can flow freely under it. We also went into the Angers community, where we met this female farmer. She had root crops like dashing. She also had ginger. She had some hot pepper, but she also suffered a lot of flooding. And similar situation again, you had debris blocking up her drains as a result of the flow of the water, and the water picking up pieces of wood and deposited in the very canal and blocking the water. And she had extensive damages to that effect. We also moved to the Grace Woodlands area. That was a very extensive banana production community. In that area, as we moved into the area, we noticed that the road in that area was extremely bad. That is the Woodlands area, extremely bad, causing a lot of rocking movement. A lot of discussion ensued that imagining a banana or hands of bananas in a box being driven in that route, all the shaking and the movement, and how you'd normally have a lot of, it would cause a lot of interhand rub in the box, which would cause a lot of damages to the bananas in the box because of the roughness of the road. So a lot of discussion went on as to what can be done to this road to make it a lot more accommodative to the farmers, and what kind of redress can be done to make the road a better road so that farmers would have less damages to their fruits as they travel up and down this particular road. All in all, it was an extensive tour, and the Prime Minister got a chance to meet with some of the farmers and understand exactly what they're going on on their farm, I should say. And he got a really deep understanding of the real plight of the farmers, and a lot of discussion on the way forward and what could be done to the agricultural sector.
Well, I'm here at Woodlands in Viewfort North, and I have to tell you, every day that I come out to the farms and I meet with the farmers, I have a newborn respect for them in terms of the dedication that they have shown in even continuing in this sector. When you look at the conditions of the roads, the conditions of access, it's unbelievable that they have continued to prevail over these circumstances. And now with the situation of Storm and Matthew, and the storm, look, is one storm, but there are many more storms to come. And so this government is committed to helping farmers redevelop, getting feeder roads, being able to get better inputs, looking at things that we can do to mitigate against storms in the future. And how do we make this industry substantially stronger to sustain storms? But when we came into office, the first thing that we had to do was to work on the market. So Minister Ezekiel Joseph and myself went to France in order to be able to look at a new market. Minister Joseph also went to England and met with the grocery stores who've indicated there is a strong demand for our St. Lucian, in fact, Windward Island bananas. And he also went to Martinique to look at more modern techniques that are being used right here in our region to be able to improve production. So now that we've got the market situation sorted out, we are going to now make the resources available as quickly as possible to regain the production of this sector. So I'm saying to the farmers, we need you, your country needs you, and your communities need you. Because if we can now generate the revenue in these rural areas and put money back into the pockets of people, we know there's going to be revival of the rural area. And many of the young people who are having to migrate to the north and either live in the north or go there every single day, commute every day. Those days I hope will soon be to an end. So the combination of agriculture along with tourism, I think, is going to be the winning formula for St. Lucia in the years to come.
We still cannot get to the mouth yet, but I will just show you.
But let me ask you a question. I was looking at this one. This way.
Yeah, the water came this way, but the river pass is just there. But when it backs up, if you notice those debris that's there, that debris came from this side.
I get it. In meeting with many of the farmers and talking to them about the storm, there was a great sense of frustration because it is history repeating itself. And many of them are frustrated because they know some of the solutions that are necessary. So for instance, clearing the mouths of the river, because we're seeing that the water is not draining as fast as it can, and a lot of the flooding that's taking place is absolutely unnecessary. But they're dedicated to this industry, but they've not felt for a long time that government is behind them. And again, when you see the condition, complain about the condition of the feeder roads and that the damage it's doing to their vehicles, the damage it's doing to the crops itself. And it's discouraging. So when you walk around and you drive around here in Woodlands alone is an example of the rest of the island, how much land has been abandoned. And so the productivity of this country is not being utilized. And it's unfortunate because when you look at the number of people that are not doing well, and you have a core industry like agriculture that's not its full potential, it's a shame. And we've recognized that, and I wanted them to know that we're here with them, not to give up. And I'm just so encouraged to see how many of them have gone back to the lands just in the last 48 hours and have started the process of clearing, cutting, and making sure that they can get production back up as quickly as possible. So we salute you, and we're going to be there with you.